Hey, I'm Kristin. I'm a rural squirrel. I am a longtime thrifter and reseller on eBay and Poshmark. Recently, I found a Goyard bag at the Thrift. I actually found it at the Goodwill Outlet. If you don't know what the Goodwill Outlet is, it is where Goodwill sends their items that either didn't sell in the store or donations that they haven't had a chance to process yet, or items that aren't suitable enough to even be put on the floor at a regular retail Goodwill. A lot of times you'll find luxury items in the outlet because sometimes they have them priced too high at the retail stores, and after a certain time period, they have to purge through those things and send them to the Goodwill Outlet, where hopefully somebody will pick them up. So let's look back at when I did find this and what it was like whenever I found it at the Goodwill Outlet. So check out the clip from this last video when I found this bag. So that was the trip that Mom and I did to the Denver bins. I do have some good stuff, and one thing, I cannot wait to have you look at this with me. I'm gonna save it for last. It's probably one of the best things that I have found in a minute. There's always that one item that you're like, I'm so glad I found this. This is gonna pay for the whole trip. And I have one of those items today. So let me show you what we've got. We'll get started. This. Oh, I am so excited about this. So this is a Goyard, and it feels great. The stitching looks awesome. I had somebody else sort of just preview look at it for me, and they felt good about it. However, there are no good markings on the inside, which has got us a little bit stumped. So I am going to send it to have it reviewed. It did have a little clutch that went with it. It is not. It was not with it. However, this was one of those things that I was having some adrenaline rush over. They were bringing out the new bins, and I could see this thing sticking out of the shoes, and there was already a bunch of other people. And you know, if you've been to the bins before, sometimes the shoes get a little rowdy, especially in a new rotation. So I'm standing second row back, and the guys in front of me were talking about those shoes, and they were all excited about it. And there was another lady on the other side of her, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I don't know if I can do this. So I kind of jockeyed myself up next to him right in front of this thing. And when they said, okay, shop, I grabbed hold of this thing and I left. I said, I'm not getting in the middle of anything else anymore. I just wanted to get this thing. So excited. Then later, he came over to me and he says, oh man, I don't know enough about bags, but I wish I would have grabbed that when we were standing next to each other. He realized after I grabbed it that and did some research, he was like, oh, I should have grabbed that. Yeah, I know, right? This is really nice. It feels great, and I really cannot wait to tell you what happens when I get this one back. Anyway, that's what I found at the bins. So excited. Ooh, this was worth it. Okay, so now let's decide. Is it authentic? Whenever you're finding something out in the wild that isn't purchased directly from the designer or from the company that makes the items, you do want to do some digging to make sure that it's authentic. I don't want to sell anything on eBay or Poshmark that isn't authentic. Not only because I don't want it to affect my selling status on those platforms, but integrity. I just don't want to sell anything that isn't real. I want my customer to know that they received something that was a legit, true item. So let's talk about this bag. How do I know whether or not this bag is real? I could have it sent over to an authenticator, and I really have considered doing that, but let's do a little research before we send it away to have it looked at by an authenticator. Here's what I know so far. So Goyard is a luxury designer brand that is about the same age as Louis Vuitton. It's been around for a little while, and it is known for the chevron pattern with the Goyard emblem in the pattern. This bag is the St. Louis bag, which is similar to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull bag. It is a canvas that is resin-coated linen. It's a lighter weight fabric, so it feels like or looks like a leather, but it's actually a painted canvas. They no longer hand paint the canvas. However, everything is done to their strict standards. Authentic bags will have a little bit of a rough feel to them. They won't be slick, they won't be smooth. It will feel similar to what the fabric feels like on the inside. So this one is nice. It does have sort of a bumpy feel to it. It does have that. The stitching on it looks pretty good. Stitching looks pretty good. What I do notice though, that this leather is pretty smooth. I would expect for a Goyard to be quality leather. This looks pretty good, but it is not as pebble grained as I am hoping to see. Let's look at the details in the monogram or the labeling that's on here. These should be nice and super crisp. That one doesn't look too bad, but this one over here has me questioning. It's a little too smudged. This should be really crisp and really tight, and it's a little messier than I want it to be. So that's not a good indication. Let's look at the seams. Yeah, the seams on these, you should not skip a beat at all in this pattern. This pattern should just line up perfectly to look like it continues into the back side of the bag. So this doesn't line up the way I want it to line up either. So I think that's another indication that we probably do not have a thrift store authentic Goyard bag. Now, since I bought this at a thrift store, I do notice that there is some damage to it. We also know that, according to the Goyard website, the strap drop should be 8.5 inches. And that looks pretty good. So 8.5 inches. Now, we think that, according to the website, they should be 22 inches wide, 22.25. Oop, we're a little short there. And 13.25 long. We're a little short there. So let's check the width. It should be 7.25. And we're a little bit short there. So, although everything looks pretty good visually, our measurements are a little off, but for a thrift store item, you know, we need to do our double checking. These usually have a little pouch that this comes with. Mine does not have a pouch, and that's something that happens especially whenever you find them at the bins. And maybe this is why it was in the bins, is because it didn't have the little pouch that's obviously removable that comes with it. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the strap. The strap doesn't look too bad. The stitching here doesn't look bad at all. Let's look at the hardware. The hardware on this looks okay. Sturdy, but this right here, this is sort of the giveaway. It should be smooth right there, and this looks like it's, you know, a screw top. So that is sort of a giveaway. Let's also look at where the serial number should be. So the serial number should be very faint and, you know, discreet, nondescript, but there's not even enough room right there for there to be a serial number. There isn't a serial number right there. You can't see and hear too well, but I can tell you that there is no serial number in there. This should be a little bit longer. This strap should be a little bit longer right here, and there should be a very fine looking serial number, and we just don't have that there. So that's probably not a good sign. So although I'm really happy to have found a potentially Goyard bag at the Goodwill Outlet, at the thrift store, I don't know that I can consider this to be good enough to even send in to have it authenticated. There's too many little details that lead me to believe that they're going to come back as a negative anyway. So I'm not going to waste the money, I guess, so to speak, to have them tell me that no, it's not real. And again, I'm not going to list it because I don't want it to affect the integrity of my store by selling something inauthentic or something that I can't authenticate. So although I think that the fabric feels nice and the stitching is kind of cool, looks good, I don't have the pouch. The seams don't line up. There's a little bit of smudging on the details in the print and in the pattern. I think that this little detail right there with the hardware and not having a serial number is a total giveaway that this is not an authentic Goyard bag that I would hope that it would have been when I found it in the bins. Still super exciting, and I'm gonna carry it. I'm gonna use it. I don't mind. I think it's a pretty bag, and it's a nice good size. So this is gonna be part of my collection. This is gonna be mine. So anyway, I thank you for coming on this little thrift journey with me. I do hope that you check out some of my other videos and, like and subscribe and do all those good fun things. And until next time, I will see you later. I'll see you in the bins. It's really too bad. This could have been such a nice bag. Oh well, I'll keep it anyway.